Boone Pickens penning an op-ed on global oil prices this morning on CNBC.com. Last year, he called for crude oil prices to climb as high as $70 a barrel by the end of 2015, but now he says that call may not be looking so good. His article titled...
I'm not dead yet, though.
And you 2.5 months to go, we should point out. That article, though, is penned. It's called The Problem with My $70 Oil Call. It cites OPEC as the key obstacle standing in the way at this point. Joining us right now with more on this is the man himself, Boone Pickens, the founder of VP Capital. And, Boone, it's always great to have you here.
Great. I always enjoy coming. I like your new offices.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, I know a lot of those people that are walking by that are friends of mine.
We've seen a lot of people we do on a daily basis.
You're not kidding. Yeah. Sometimes we do. And, you know,
of course you do.
The Today Show's right over here. So a lot of times guests are walking by. We'll see Rick Perry walking by or, you know, who else have we seen? John Paulson.
John Paulson. We constantly
saw Rick Perry.
He walks to work in the morning.
Saw Rick Perry yesterday at a sad event. Great friend.
Yeah.
Very important guy in Texas. I'm not talking about Rick Perry. But we were at a funeral.
Oh, I see.
For D. Kelly in Fort Worth.
Oh, I see.
Wonderful guy. And 86 years old, old guy.
You don't think 86 isn't old?
I'm 87.
Yeah. Well, 86 isn't old. 87's not old.
Pardon me?
87's not old.
87's not old.
Right.
Not
well, you know, you're moving up.
Right. You're late middle age.
You're getting there.
Late middle age.
You're getting there.
Right.
Hey, Boone, you called for $70 oil, and things didn't quite turn out the way you'd expected.
Whoa,
you do have 2.5 months
left.
Do you want to change your call, or are you going to stick with $70?
No, I mean, this is a legacy call. So it's I've already been told that you miss on this in Pickens, and they'll never give you a chance again.
What do you mean?
And because I came out early on the 70, and, you know, I was bucking Goldman, I was bucking Barclays, everybody. So we're talking about 30s and all and that. None of that stuff. No 30s happened. And, you know, we're 45, 46. I've got a month and a half. Andrew's over here folding his arms.
No.
You
it's
think
body language. I know. Yeah, I get that all the time. I do. I know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he always looks at me. He wants me to be wrong.
Right.
No, I want you to be right. I want everybody to be right.
Well, it would help income inequality if he was wrong, because he'd lose his ass.
The Saudis came out 30 minutes ago and said, look, cut everything, budget. We, you know, we're running out of money.
Really?
It was cost them $500 million a day.
There is an IMF report that shows that Saudi Arabia, which had a very hefty budget surplus just 3 years ago, has turned this into a deficit of more than 20% of GDP, just because they've been losing their shirts on this call, too.
Well, you know why they're doing it, don't you?
Well, they're trying to force all the frackers out and shut down.
All frackers. It's not
you think it's Russia?
It's the independent producers, which do frack their wells, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, damn right. They decided they're gonna change swing producer from them to the United States, and the United States can be swing producer real quick when the price drops. They just shut everything down, and so we go down over 1,000 rigs. We're down to the lowest level now. I think 614 drilling for oil.
So what happens now? We had a guest who joined us this morning who thinks that oil prices have already bottomed. We had another guest, John Kilduff, who joined us yesterday, who said, look, the problem is every time we shut down rigs like this, if the price goes back up and gets back above $55, $60 a barrel, it'd be fairly easy for a lot of these rigs to get turned back on. Is that accurate?
Well, easy. You know, people work on rigs. And so when you lay down, crew, they'll... maybe a week, but you know who takes over at that point?
Yeah.
The wife in the family. And she said, get your ass out of here and go get a job. You're not hanging around here all day and watching television, drinking beer.
Meaning you can't just find a crew and get them right back on again because they've gone on.
You shut down 150,000 people now, and those guys have to go to work. So they've gone to other jobs is what's happened.
So it's not as easy as technically just turning it back on.
No, absolutely not. When you talk about Iran, put 1 million barrels of oil a day on, that's a joke. I mean, when they decide to come back with oil after the sanctions, which will be the mid next year, so we're not going to see Iranian oil in the market for a while. But they can't. They'll come up. It'll be more like 200,000 barrels a day instead of 1 million barrels a day.
So you're sticking with your call that we could be at $70 of oil by the end of the year?
That we could, underline we could. I feel a little bit like the guy fell off the 10-story building. You know, when he went by the 5th floor, he said, "I'm not dead yet." So
maybe you still think you're flying until the 1st floor.
I want to tell you the latest oil field joke.
Okay.
All right.
Is this a clean joke?
Yeah, it's okay. It's cable.
Andrew, you should leave the room.
He's very sensitive.
Well, it's very sensitive.
Just want to make sure.
It's too young for you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to for years.
The woman's going down Travis Street in Houston, and there's a frog in the gutter. And the frog says, "Stop, stop." She looks down, she said, "Are you a talking frog?" He said, "I actually am." She picks him up and said, "This is most unusual." He said, "I've had this spell cast over me." And he said, "If a good-looking woman like you will kiss me, I'll turn back into a Texas oil man." And she put him down in the purse. He said, wait a minute. Aren't you going to kiss me?" She said, "No." She said, "Talking frogs are worth a hell of a lot more than Texas oil men." That was a cute joke for you.
It was, thank you, and family friendly and good for the young
going
years.
down the street, and that's when I got scared for a second. But you're good.
Yeah. But no, I think I'm still alive on the 70, but I'm running out of time.
Right,
too.
you got 2.5 months.
I've got 2.5 months, yeah. But something I would like to talk about, and I think it's very interesting, but I always think what I'm going to talk about is interesting.
Don't we all?
Sure. But nobody's talked about this, and I can't believe it, that here Russia, they struggled a little bit to take the Ukraine, didn't they? There was some conversation about it and all. You knew what they were going to do. They did it. We got a weak president, you know. Now, they just kind of waltz over into the Mideast. They were kicked out of the Mideast in 73. And now they're back. They're back, and that is no kidding back. And you watch them, they'll move quickly into there. Well, who is it that when the price of oil went down to $45 a barrel, who was hurt?
Russia, primarily. In fact, some of what we've heard is that Saudi Arabia is continuing to pump because they want to stick it to Russia. They don't want them in their backyard.
Well, the Saudis need money. They already announced that an hour ago, that they have to have money. Budget's out of control. $500 million a day is what's it cost them. Okay. Now, who was hurt by low-priced oil? The Saudis, Russia, the rest of OPEC, and the industry in the United States.
Right.
Well, nobody cares anything about the industry in the United States. There's nothing there for them. But you, the consumer, were helped by $2 gasoline. And so our GNP is impacted by that. The producers sitting out here by themselves, and so there you have it.
So in other words, as a nation, it hasn't hurt us the same way that
we were helped as a nation. Yeah, everybody was. I mean, there aren't that many producers around. So what you're getting ready to see is that they're going to bring the price of oil back up.
By cutting production. You think OPEC will actually get to the point where they cooperate and they're not all pumping flat out?
Well, I mean, they're the ones getting hurt. So you say, well, they help. Already the Saudis
they've endured a lot of pain, and there's another theory that they will endure a little more pain to make sure that they flush out the swamp and really put everybody else out of business.
You think that's going to happen?
I don't know. That's a theory. John Kilduff brought that up.
I think they've had enough. I think you've had enough.
You think they're
you're going to see adjustments made. The Russians will claim they're not adjusting, but they'll force others to adjust. Right. And they got a new sheriff in town